Number one tip for letting go of painful thoughts from a therapist with 3,000 hours of experience. A lot of the time we put pressure and expectation on ourselves to not think in a certain way, or to only think certain type of thoughts, or to only feel certain emotions. And a lot of the time what that pressure and expectation does is it means that when we experience a painful thought, we try and push it away. And when we push the thought away, it just comes back stronger and stronger. And so it's not a sustainable solution. And then we feel like we're never going to get rid of the thought. And so as counterintuitive as it sounds, what we want to do is we want to invite the thought in fully, but not just the thought by itself. We don't just consider thoughts in isolation. We consider the context around the thought. We consider the emotion that underlies the thought. Maybe the emotion here is fear. Maybe I don't feel safe. Maybe I don't feel secure. Does it make sense that I don't feel safe and secure? Well, what's happened to me today? What's happened, frequently throughout my life? What's happened over the past few weeks? Where are my expectations coming from? What emotion is underlying it? What context is underlying it? Because when we can do that with a thought, when we can invite it in and explore it in that way, we can hopefully get to a point where we're able to accept the thought. It doesn't mean the thought's nice, it doesn't mean it's not a difficult thought to have, but it means that we don't have to push it away. And when we accept it, we're usually able to let it go. And it's a bit of a silly analogy, but I always think of when it's raining. And when it's raining, it sucks. You get wet, you get cold. Ultimately, if you don't have an umbrella or a raincoat and you're 10 minutes walk away from your house and it starts raining, and a lot of the time you don't have a choice but to just accept the fact that it's raining. And a lot of the time you'll find that when you do accept the fact it's raining, the rain doesn't stop raining, but it can stop bothering you as much, and you're able to let go of the fact that you don't control the weather. So yeah, not always an amazing analogy, but I think it does apply to some degree here. But yeah, that's one of the number one steps for letting go of painful thoughts. Pressure and expectation, let's take some of that away. Let's invite it in. Let's find the emotion underneath it. Let's set the context as to why we're thinking this way. Can we get to a point where we can accept the thought more fully? Not as something that's easy to experience, not as something that's good, but something that makes sense. And if it makes sense, when we've accepted it, can we then let it go? It's often a lot more likely to happen.